Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss session 3 of module 3. Myself, I am Dr. Jyoti, Assistant Professor, Government Engineering College, Ramnagar. So today we are going to discuss, uh, let me share the slideshow, plan irregularities. So what is this plan irregularities? It is very important that the building behave in a good way or it has to perform seismic performance of the building depends upon the following factors. What are those factors that will improve the seismic performance of the building? They are building plan. Building plan should be the structural behavior of the building should be as simple as possible to avoid the failure. Then the second one is vertical irregularities, that is the setback, how much setback we have provided, soft story, short and captive columns, pounding effect, strong beam, weak column. All these factors we'll discuss today. So here in this picture we can notice that buildings perform poorly due to high irregular shapes. So in this building we can notice that there is a irregularity in between these uh, buildings. One you can notice at the center the height is uh, more and there is no irregularity. The plan is not regular, it is irregular plan, and due to this, and mass distribution is also not proper. There is a heavy mass distribution at the center, and the building plan is not simple. So due to this, the structural behavior of the building has not behaved properly, and at the center you can notice that there is heavy mass at the roof, and mass distribution is not proper. So failure of an apartment building in 2001 Bhuj earthquake is an excellent example to show that due to irregular mass distribution, as well as uh, the building plan is not uh, symmetrical, and due to this the building has performed bad during the 2001 Bhuj earthquake. So it is better to keep the building as simple as possible. Then the structural behavior will also be simple. So building with a simple geometry in plan perform better during strong earthquake. So this is a box action effect. We can see that this is a cross wall. 1 minute. So this is the cross wall as the ground motion is perpendicular to the wall. If this is a wall, the ground motion is perpendicular to the wall, and when it is perpendicular to the wall, if there is a geometry, if it is a simple geometry as shown here, there will be cracks, perpendicular cracks like this, perpendicular to the ground. Uh, this is the wall perpendicular to the ground motion. So you can see minor cracks here. Whereas if the shaking is parallel to the wall, if this is a shear wall, if it is parallel to the, if the let us assume this as a shear wall, because since the earthquake is parallel to the shear wall, you can see that there are X cracking or minor cracks can be seen. So here it will avoid the failure of the building if the building plan is simple and symmetrical. Next, and it is very important in a building plan, there should not be any irregularity. How can we eliminate the irregularity in such building plans? Here you can see a L-shaped building and a T-shaped building. L-shaped building and a T-shaped building, and this is the corner. This corner is called as a re-entrant corner because this wall and this is are meeting at this point. This is these are called as a re-entrant corner, and this is very vulnerable during the earthquake. Here also we can notice these are the re-entrant corners which are very vulnerable during the earthquake. So these are the failure whenever there is an earthquake. due to these re-entrant corners failure occur. So you should be very extremely careful about this re-entrant corners. Then how to rectify that we'll discuss in the coming slides. So now if you want a L-shaped building, what we can do is instead of providing a 1 minute, sorry, yes. Here instead of providing a continuous building like this, continuous L-shaped building, what we can do is separate this re-entrant corner into two parts like this, one L shape and one rectangular shape. Like this looks like a L shape, so but there is a seismic gap here. So here then there cannot be any failure. Re-entrant corners are completely avoided. Here also re-entrant corners at these 2 points are completely avoided by providing a separation joints like this. There is a seismic gap between these two buildings. So by making these separation joints, earthquake failures can be prevented in a building. Then, what are vertical irregularities? Vertical irregularities in this picture, we can notice that there is a the vertical load distribution is not uniform. Distribution of mass, distribution of stiffness, and distribution of strength, everything. There is a sudden change here in this floor. You can notice that the mass distribution is different. Here the mass distribution is different, and here also mass distribution is different. This is of higher floor. Number of floors are more here, number of floors are comparatively less. Here it is even less. So this shows there is a uneven distribution of mass, and as well as the uneven distribution of stiffness, as well as uneven distribution of the strength also. So this causes sudden change in earthquake resistance at the level of discontinuity. There is no continuity in the building. There is no flow of loads should be continuous. Otherwise, if there is no continuous load path, that causes failure. So this is an excellent example of vertical irregularities. And this also you can notice that in the soft story, the horizontal movement on the ground open story is much larger than the stories above. This flexible ground story is called as soft story. Here you can notice that in these upper floors, there is walls covering the entire building, and there may be around 3 to 4 story above this ground story. What happens, all those loads will be coming and falling on these columns, and you can notice that there is no wall here. So due to this, what happens, all the load has to be carried by this. Whatever load from the upper story has to be carried by this columns. So there is a sudden discontinuity of the load distribution from the upper floors to the ground floor. So if there is a horizontal movement if there is an earthquake and if there is a horizontal movement in this direction, what happens, the columns in the ground story has to carry the maximum stress, because it is due to this motion, whatever load from the upper floors will be carried by these columns, so it will undergo this is more vulnerable to the earthquake. Hence this story is called as what? Soft story, right? So then vertical irregularities, one more example of the soft story. You can notice that all these mass, whenever there is an earthquake motion, you can notice that. So this is one, whenever there is a ground motion direction, along this direction, here all the loads of these mass will come and fall on these columns. So due to that, what happens, there is no wall here. It is open ground. So due to that, there will be a formation of plastic hinges. This is soft story effect of Kathmandu. This is a earthquake that has happened in Kathmandu. So you can notice that whatever upper floor mass, it has come and fallen on these columns, and plastic hinges are formed here. Plastic hinges are formed here. So this is due to vertical irregularities that has caused the soft story. So this is one more example for soft story, open ground story, and this is a failure of buildings into the, not necessary that it has to be at the ground floor. So this is an example. In this example, you can see that all these vertical mass has come and fallen on these columns. So the column is an open ground soft story failure, you can notice here. But in 2001 Bhuj earthquake, here what has happened, there is intermediate soft story, because here there is an opening. Here there is an opening. So what happens, if at the, not necessary that it has to be on the ground floor or ground floor, even at the intermediate, if there is an opening and there is no mass distribution equally, then the soft story failure can also occur in the intermediate floors also. So this is an excellent example for intermediate soft story. This is a failure of a building that was seen in the year 2001 Bhuj earthquake. And this is one more example, as I showed you that soft story need not be in the ground floor. It can be in the intermediate floors also. You can here you can notice that this mass distribution is same. Here there is a same, but here at the floor there is opening. There is no wall in these between these columns. There is no wall between these in between these columns. Again, at the top floor, again there is a heavy mass that will be distributed to this floor, where there is no walls. So due to this, what happens, all the whatever mass of this top floor, that has to be carried by only these columns. So obviously, if it undergoes failure, that will damage the entire building. So this is a excellent example for intermediate soft story. So short columns are stiffer and require larger force to deform. Here you can see that this is a regular column and this is a short column. So tall columns are more flexible than the short column. And here in this, we can notice that. So this is a short column. So it requires larger forces to deform, and this is slopy ground, whereas tall columns are more flexible, and these are the regular columns, and these are short columns. So captive columns are the columns which is in between the walls if the columns are provided. So that is called as a captive column. In between the infill wall, if there is a column. So captive columns attract large seismic forces compared to regular columns, because here at the corners it has to carry the load of the beam, as well as here you can notice that it has to carry the loads from the floor as well as this beam, and this is joining the infill walls here. So here the chances of damages are more in the captive column. So vertical load from the floor, from the beam, from the infill walls. So due to this, it is having a load from all the directions. So this corner is under severe, so there is a heavy stress concentration. So due to that, you can notice the failures here. So this type of columns are called as what, captive columns. It attracts large seismic forces compared to regular columns. So this is another example for captive columns. You can see that there is a stress concentration here. Stress concentration here, right, from the beams, beams and this beam as well as from these two walls. So due to that, there is a failure of the columns. So these are called as captive columns. You can notice here in this also. So this is one more example for captive columns. Then pounding effect. What is meant by pounding? If the buildings are located too close to each other and they may collide during the earthquake, and this is known as pounding. See here you can see there are buildings which are very close to each other. So and they may collide during the earthquake, and this effect is known as what? Pounding effect. And you can see that here this building and this building joining point, it is too close, so it has collide. It may collide during the earthquake. Same here, too much close, they are too close to each other. And this strong beam weak column, you can see that failure of in this picture we can see the failure of the column. The beam has not collapsed completely, but the column has collapsed completely. Here you can see failure due to strong beam weak column effect, and due to this strong beam weak column, like a pancake, the entire building has collapsed in 2001 due to strong beam weak column effect. This was a common failure that was noticed in Bhuj earthquake. This because of this open story building, all the loads, whatever load on the upper floors were coming on this column. So when there was an earthquake, it could not withstand that ground motion, and the beams were strong and the columns were weak. So entire the column has crushed. Due to that crushing of the columns, the entire building has collapsed like a pancake. So this is a pancake collapse of a multi-story building. So, in this session, what we understood is what are the factors affecting the seismic performance of the building. The seismic performance of the building were affected by the building plan, the building plan, structural behavior of the building. What are the lessons that we learned is building plan should be as simple as possible, and structural behavior of this should be kept as simple as possible. Vertical irregularities should be prevented. That is, instead of re-entrant corner setback should be avoided. Soft story should be avoided, and short and captive columns should be avoided. And pounding effect, that is. Buildings should not be constructed too close to each other, so that during the earthquake they may collide and may cause failure of the building. Similarly, strong beam, we should construct a strong beam, and we should not construct a strong beam weak column, but we should construct a weak beam strong column to avoid the failure of the building and to perform better during earthquake. Thank you. So please write to us your suggestion about content tools format to lms.btk@gmail.com. Thank you.